Hello everyone, today I want to address Dada. One of the beautiful things about the African traditional religion or the African spirituality is the different allocation of appearance. Especially, it always comes modestly when we refer to the priests, or we refer to the kings, or we refer to the commoners. Let me not use the word commoner, because in the African spirituality, we are all equal on a particular plane. But because the spirit always reward loyalty, hence we have those who are particularly chosen to be kings, to be queens. Those who are chosen, you are not chosen to be a princess or a prince. By birth, you become one. You are chosen to be a priest, you become a cupbearer, you become a warrior, and the rest. But I want to talk about a set of people in our spirituality that the migration and civilization, especially alien civilization coming in contact with the African spirituality, has made blunder of this kind of people. Whereas I can vividly say that there is a part of the world that these people, spirituality is still intact. Those we call Dada children that have thick hair, what we call dreadlocks. If I may tell you, do you know that science have not actually been able to tell what really causes dreadlocks? And so we just push it. Those of us who are biochemists, those of us who have done research, cell biology and the rest of, we just drifted it to DNA. You know, if you have it in your ancestral DNA, you are likely to have dreadlocks. But let me tell you, dreadlocks from birth has nothing to do with DNA or science, but it's actually total spirituality. If you must know, if you were born with dreadlocks, it means you came from a spiritual lineage of priests. We have those who are naturally born into the spiritual lineage of priesthood. Don't be deceived. It's either you are called as a messenger. Like I said, I am a messenger. My lineage, where I came from the water world, there's not like priesthood. There's no priesthood. No. I came from a royal family, a royal lineage. So it's from a royal lineage I came from the water world. But I find myself on earth being a messenger, a priest. That is because I am called to be one. Now we have people who are born into the priesthood lineage. They are rare, they are not much, but it's a community of people that are already vibrating in this earth plane. If you have dreadlocks, you are born from the family or lineage of priesthood. It doesn't matter whether your father was a priest or not. I'm talking about the world you are coming from, whether you're coming from the water spirit, whether you're a Naga spirit, or you're from the earth, or you're from the firmament. There is not possibility. It's obvious that you are from a lineage of priesthood, and you are sent on earth here to continue the work of a priest. But guess what? Christianity marrying the African tradition, we are meant to understand that the moment you have dreadlock, you are what they popularly know as an Ogbanje child. Whereas they don't even know Ogbanje has nothing to do with water spirits. If you don't know, I'm going to do a video on that. So, when you are born with dreadlock from birth, or you started growing and they found out that you have dreadlock, you are not an evil child. You are not possessed. You are not going to die young. You are sent as a priest. Because you are a priest, when you land on earth, there are going to be forces that are against your calling that will start making advocates, that will start setting up spiritual court cases to make sure you do not exist on earth. So you find out that majority of you who are born in the part of the Western Africa, like Nigeria, Western part, you face a lot of challenges. That is because you don't have much of you, like in countries like the Jamaica, where you have a lot of them. It's by nature. There are forces, let me tell you, there are forces around those countries where there are a lot of dreadlocks that already protects them. So it's like known to them. Now, when you look at the history of the western part of Africa, you find that the migration that led to the establishment of this side were not migration of priesthood, but migration of warriors, of kings. So you can see that the DNA of those who are born as dreadlocks today are DNA of those who were dreadlocks 3,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, or even 5,000 years ago. So if you have a child that is born with a dreadlock, or what we call Dada, please, not cut him. Leave him. Leave the Dada. We already know in this our dispensation, people are even making dreadlock already. In fact, that is one of the major reasons why I plaited this hair. I plaited this hair so that it can rhyme with the message I'm giving. Let me tell you, priest, as a priest, it's actually forbidden for you to cut your hair. In the ancient Kemet, down to our forefathers, even very 100 years ago, children that are born and selected by the gods to be priests, razor or cutlass does not touch their hair. So you find out that as a priest, right from the ancient Kemet, I used to tell you guys, from the children of Israel down to every part of the world, the practice of spirituality started from the ancient Kemet. So everything you see in most religious practices today actually morphed from the ancient Kemet. Now, when you read the documentation of the Bible, 1 Samuel 1, starting from verse 10, you see the vow that Hannah made unto the Lord. You find out that there are some certain, well, I'm going to talk about that one of these days. You find out that as a man, even as a woman, it is prohibited for a razor to touch your hair. The only time a razor touches the hair of a woman is when the husband dies. Now look at women that cut their hair. You will find out that it's either their husband died on time, their husband started behaving in a non-ethic way, the family is no longer what you think. See, a lot of you will start giving an example of women that have their hair. How old is their husband? Let's wait how long their husband will live. The truth is this. You might think, oh, because it worked for someone else, it might work for you. Let me tell you, I tell a lot of people, there is something that person A will do and nothing will happen to her or him all the days of his life because of the covenant that he has come on earth. So that covenant is more important than the taboo he or she is going to commit on earth. While there is somebody B that will do less than that particular thing, and before I go crossroad, move to don't jam, I don't die. That was what I learned from my spiritual father. That the grace upon somebody is not the same grace on you. Something somebody will do and will be pardoned, you will do it and you will be smite that same night. 1 Samuel chapter 10, 1 Samuel chapter 1, starting from verse 10. What did he say? Hannah was in deep tears when he made this vow. Let's read. 1 Samuel chapter 1, 1 Samuel 1, starting from verse 10, he said, in her bitter distress, Hannah prayed to the Lord and wept with many tears. Verse 11 said, and she took a vow, pleading, O Lord of hosts, if only you will look upon the affliction of your maidservant, and remember me, not forgetting your maidservant, but giving her a son, then I will dedicate him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall ever come to his head. Meaning, the hair will not be touched. Because it is one of the criteria of being a priest. Razor must never come to your hair till you die. So when you see children that are born with Dada, they come from a lineage of priesthood in their life before now or in the world where they are coming from. They are from the lineage of what? Priesthood. Women were prohibited from cutting their hair. We see a lot of young men dying on time. We see young men living, having depression. We see a lot of it happening in our society today. Sometimes we are very quick to say the leaders. The leaders are residue of the home. See the people you have today on the office has a father and a mother. How was he raised? How was our former president raised? How is your governor raised? What society? What built his ideology and his personality? What is that? That built his ideology and his personality. So you go around cutting your hair. I'm going to talk about that. Let me not digress deeply on that. Let me focus on children and Dada. Stop cutting your children's hair. When you read from verse 12, it says, as Hannah kept on praying, Ella watched while her mouth moved. I'm going to do a very comprehensive talk about Hannah's prayer for a son. For those of you who are looking for the child of the womb. When you say Jesus Christ does not exist, does not mean that all of this did not exist. All this thing came from the Kemetic writings. We all know that. That the 10 commandments came from the 42 laws of math. That was where they drafted it from. This was prior the production of the Old Testament. So everything I read in the Bible, I'm happy that we had white men who were able to bring it out for us, because we will not be able to do them. So it's one of the best things that, in fact, let me tell you guys something. Stop hating on the white man. There was a role they had to play. There was a role they had to play in the cosmos, in the affairs of mankind. Because the truth is this, we were documenting all our writing on walls, on papyrus, on paper and the rest of. But they were very good in bringing it out, and they brought it out for everybody to see as in form of the Bible. I'm not talking about the New Testament. I'm talking about the Old Testament. Because the Old Testament gave birth to the New Testament. Confirmation of the New Testament. Just for that people to understand that, yes, we are not just forming a new religion. We are still doing the same thing that the Old Testament said. We are still doing the same thing that the Old Testament does said. So please stop cutting your children hair in the name of they have Dada, they have Ogbanje. They don't. The only thing I can tell you can do, once in a while, even if that child is from the earth, from the firmament, or they are Naga spirit, or even if they are water children, once every 7 days, take them to the sea or to the river, bathe them with river. Water has an effect of chasing bad auras, because one of the reasons why that child keep dying in the night, one of the reasons we found out that he keep having a lot of issue, is because he's being attacked by external forces that does not want him to materialize. The energy they came to, their parents who do not understand who they were, did not raise them well. You think if I have a child that has a Dada, he go do anything? No, I will start raising him in the ways of the Lord, the ways of our forefathers, the ways of worship, the good way. But no, we did not. Some of you just rush ahead and cut. Some of you, see, let me tell you, if you are born with Dada, your mother cut it. You better chat me up. Let me tell you what you will do, so you can reclaim your destiny. And you women, when they cut on her hair, say in the name of keeping up beauty, you don't have sense. Dada is not demonic. Dada is a blessing. If you have one in your family, worship that one, respect him, bring him closer, encourage him to look for his calling, and one day that will be the savior of your home. Thank you. May the ancient waters and the ancient spirits protect you, provide for you, shield you from the eyes of the envious one, both humans, animals, and spirit. Ashe.